Hi guys, it's Classic Gal 96. So here I am back to film another video. Finally, it's been a long time coming for me to film this kind of video, and it has been over a year since I last uploaded for YouTube. So today is the day I'm going to show you something really super special, and that is my entire 1980s movies and TV show collection. This is a video I've been wanting to do for a while, and I have been getting into a huge 80s mood lately, where I've been watching a ton of 80s movies. I've always been an 80s fan, and I have been getting into a lot of movies lately, and I thought, the next video I might show for YouTube could be my 80s collection, because there's a lot of really, really good movies that came out in that decade. So, and I got a lot of really cool movies to show you. So yeah, so I'm going to show you those. I'm going to start with the 4K Ultra HD, and then I'm going to go into my Blu-rays, to my DVDs, and lastly, the few TV shows I have. Yeah, I don't have a lot of TV shows, so I apologize about that, but I'm still going to include them because they are 80s. And a little visitor right there, who I just got recently, Gizmo. So cool. So yeah, I'm going to start this. I'm really hoping to not make this a long video, so I'm going to try not to ramble on too much. Also, if you want to see the inside of some of the box sets I have, I might post a video of them showing off the box sets at the end of the video. So if you want to stay around for that, you can if you like. But I'm just going to show you, just go through the movies, and then at the end I'll do that. So it's not like a super long process of opening up boxes. You get the idea. So yeah, so I'm going to start. So first off, I have, of course, the Back to the Future trilogy, the Ultimate Trilogy. One of my all-time favorite movies ever. Well, the first one, really. Do love the sequels as well. So Back to the Future 4K box set. And I have Dirty Dancing, which is also one of my favorite from the decade. So I've got it in a nice little steelbook right there. So Dirty Dancing. The Goonies, one of my favorites. I recently upgraded this to 4K, and it's pretty good in this sort of HD and all that sort of stuff. The Karate Kid, another one I've upgraded to 4K. Who doesn't love the Karate Kid, honestly? Ralph Macchio, come on. It's one of my favorites, of course. And oh my god, Top Gun. It has both Top Gun movies, actually. It's like a little bundle. I got this for Christmas. So it's got the first one that came out in 1986, and there's Maverick, which came out a few years ago, I think. But I'm mainly aiming for the first one because obviously that's 80s, but the second one's really good too. So, and it's in this bundle. But yeah, Top Gun's one of my all-time favorites. I love those movies so much. I was gonna say 4K. Footloose, another one I've upgraded to 4K. I love this movie. One of the best soundtracks ever to a movie, and oh my gosh, I've seen this movie over 1 million times. Kevin Bacon and all that good stuff. Love that movie. Love the music as well. The Lost Boys. This is a movie I actually watched for the first time maybe a few months ago when I first got the 4K. But it has Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, and Kiefer Sutherland. It's got a good cast in it. A little bit of horror, which is what I love. So yeah, very good vampire kind of movie. And another horror, and that is Poltergeist, a classic. Who doesn't love Poltergeist? Of course, everyone I know loves this movie. So yeah, Poltergeist. And this is one I got for Christmas as well, and that is this little bundle of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. It comes with all these little collector's set, including a steelbook, which I'll show you at the end. And there's Freddy Krueger just peeking through his nice fingers right there. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. And Fatal Attraction. I didn't know if I was actually going to love this movie, but It has Michael Douglas and what's her name, Glenn Close, and yeah, oh my gosh, this is a thriller to the max. I love this. I love these sort of movies, and very suspenseful too, and that's what I also love. It is Blade Runner. This is another movie I thought I wasn't gonna like. I've seen it, I think, twice now. I first watched it when it came on television, and I got it for 4K. This is probably like one of the best movies you can watch on 4K, or for obvious reasons. I've seen the second Blade Runner movie, and it's not one of my favorites, but I do love the first one with Harrison Ford. Really good. Scarface with Al Pacino. One of those movies I always mistaken for a Martin Scorsese movie. It's that kind of movie, but yeah. This is probably one of my favorite gangster movies, like along with The Godfather and Goodfellas. This is so good. It takes place in Miami, which is what I also love. 1980s Miami. And lastly, for 4K Ultra HD, and that is Full Metal Jacket, which is a Stanley Kubrick movie. I've only seen this movie once. I've loved the first act of this movie. The whole movie's good, but the first act is probably my most favorite of this movie. This is like a 8 out of 10 type of movie. So Full Metal Jacket. And now onto the Blu-rays. So Gizmo, you're gonna have to move for a second. Neil. And we're off to a good start here, guys, because we have The Outsiders with that glorious cast right there. Oh, it's so good, so good. This is one of my favorites from the 80s, one of my favorite movies. I've seen this, I think, like 5 times, and it's so good. You have people like Matt Dillon, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise. You got all those guys in it. Highly recommend. Great film. And here's like kind of like a silly type of action film, and that is They Live. It's John Carpenter, so that's another good reason to watch it. It's got what's the guy's name? Roddy Piper. I think he was a wrestler in real life, from what I believe. It's got Keith David as well. It's more of just like an entertaining type of movie. It's not like your Die Hards or Aliens or anything like that. It's a good action film. Just to watch for fun, but that's just my opinion though. And another film that I think was just a pretty fun film, and that is Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. Also, it's got Patrick Swayze too. You can't go wrong with him. So yeah, so like, this is a movie I bought recently, I think like a couple of months ago, a month ago or something, and it's really good. It's really good. And a really underrated gem here, and that is Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue right there. This is probably like one of the most fun type of 80s movies I own in my collection. I've seen this movie probably like multiple times, and it's so good. Oh my gosh, speaking of another underrated movie, and that is About Last Night, which is a romantic comedy, and yeah, kind of like a romantic comedy in a way. It has Demi Moore and Rob Lowe in the film. I love this movie, love. This is probably my favorite Rob Lowe movie, where he's like the lead role, and he's like one of the most gorgeous human beings ever. So, and I loved him with Demi Moore. So good. This is one of my favorites, and that is Risky Business. No need to say more. This movie is fantastic. Also my favorite Tom Cruise movie ever. So this is a movie I could just watch over and over and never get sick of. I remember when I watched it on TV once, I was like, I need to own the copy of this movie. It's so good. And next up is The Breakfast Club. Who's not going to have their Breakfast Club in the 80s collection? Seriously, this is my favorite John Hughes movie of all time. This is a movie I watch on occasion. Like, I haven't actually watched it in a while, but this is the one Hughes movie I would watch the very most. Love all the characters, and oh my gosh, so good. Some people may like it or may not like it, because it takes place in this very one location as these kids go into detention for like the entire movie. So people will be like, that sounds boring, but it's not. It's like one of the greatest films ever. And I really wish I got to watch this as a teenager, because I know I would love it. But I had watched it, I think, when I was like 20 years old, and I've had this Blu-ray for a while. But this is one of the movies someone or anyone has to watch. It's one of the greatest. And another really good John Hughes movie, this is full-on comedy, that is Planes, Trains and Automobiles with Steve Martin and John Candy. This movie is a jam, so good. This is one of those like those older comedies I could just have a good laugh at, and it's a comfort film too, so I appreciate it for that. Big Trouble in Little China, just like the movie That They Live. This is a very like kind of like that actiony 80s type of fantasy film. It's very entertaining though. Very, very, very entertaining. You got Kurt Russell in the film as well. I can get like people loving this movie. If you want to go in for a good 80s movie, you have to watch this. It's so good. Alright guys, this movie is probably one of Tom Cruise's most riveting and perfect performances, and that is Born on the 4th of July. This is kind of like a biopic in a way. This takes place during like the Vietnam War and those anti-war kind of protests that were going on in the late 60s and all that. So good. I wouldn't put in like my top 5 favorite Tom Cruise movies, but definitely top 5 of his performances. It's really, really good. Really, really good. And now we've got the Lethal Weapon movies, or just the first 2. That is Lethal Weapon 1 with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Very, very good action-y type body cop movies, sorry. So there's the second one. Bruce Willis is John McClane in Die Hard. Oh, so good. This is the kind of movie I would pick as one of my top favorite action movies, and one of the movies to watch during the Christmas time. Totally. So we have Labyrinth. This is a movie that took me a little bit to get into, like the first couple of times I watched it. Loved David Bowie in it, but like I love it now, but it did take me a while to actually get into it and enjoy it. It's still really, really good though. If you like one of those like really like fantasy type of movies, adventure films, you definitely give this one a go. It's pretty good. Oh my gosh. Hi Gizmo. Gizmo. So yeah. Sorry Gizmo. So we got Gremlins on a Blu-ray. When I'm talking about favorite 80s movies, this is one of them. I love this movie so much. This is the one I could watch maybe every Christmas or whenever I'm in the mood. But little Gizmo, I love this movie. I've actually never seen the second Gizmo movie. I'm just gonna say Gizmo, okay? So I've never actually seen the second Gremlins movie. I've only seen this one, because with me, I technically like just to watch the original versions, unless the sequels are really, really, really good. But I love the first Gremlins movie. It's one of my favorites. I'm gonna say about a lot of these movies, that's why I own them. So we got Stanley Kubrick's The Shining with Jack Nicholson. This is a classic. I see this as more of a psychological thriller more than a horror in my opinion, but yeah, it's really good, really, really good. The Untouchables. It's been a long time since I've last seen this movie. The one performance I remember the most from this movie is Sean Connery. Oh my god, one of the best performances from Sean Connery in this movie. I'm just trying to remember who was in it. Robert De Niro, he's in it. Kevin Costner. Yeah. I just remember Sean Connery the most. He was really good in that movie. Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. I love this movie. It's got some of the funniest bits in it. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis and all those people in it as well. So good. I know a lot of people who actually love this movie too. Alright, here we have another Tom Cruise movie and a really, really good movie, and that is Rain Man with Dustin Hoffman. This is a pretty strong and heavy story. I mean, not heavy in a bad way, but like it's a very strong type of story. But it's oh my god, the character development and just the premise in general, it's a very touching type of movie. That's all I can say. It's one of the greatest. That's all I can say. Of course, we've got Ghostbusters. Everyone knows about Ghostbusters. So you know the crew that's in it right there. So yeah, Ghostbusters, classic. Oh, we're getting into the horror genre now. More of the horror stuff. So here's Friday the 13th. This one only has the second part, the third part, and that remake, which I hated so much. I'm quite disappointed this doesn't come with the fourth movie, because the fourth movie is probably the second best Friday the 13th, in my opinion. But it's got the second one, which I also love, and it's got the third one where it introduces the iconic mask. But yeah, it's got two good movies in here, but one very bad one. So yeah, that's Friday the 13th. And here's the original Friday the 13th. That came out in 1980. So you have Kevin Bacon in this movie in his very, very early roles. I've watched this movie like a billion times and I still find it entertaining to watch. It's kind of laughable in a couple of areas, but it's still suspenseful in a way, and I enjoy it like that. The Evil Dead, the only one I own on physical as well. I've never really been a big Evil Dead fan, despite how much I love horror movies. I just never been into the Evil Dead that much. I didn't really enjoy Evil Dead Rises. The second one's okay. This one was good. The remake was pretty good, but it's okay. It's an okay series. I'll give it that. Now here's a classic, and that's John Carpenter's The Thing. This one also has Kurt Russell and Keith David as well. Has anyone else? Doesn't say. It's been a long time since I've last seen this movie too, but it's really, really freaking good. Oh my gosh. I love this movie. The Color of Money. You have Tom Cruise and the legendary Paul Newman. This is a Martin Scorsese movie. This is actually the sequel to a 60s movie called The Hustler, which stars Paul Newman, actually, which is a good movie, really good movie. This one's also really, really freaking good too. So yeah, so Color of Money, and I think these last ones are Martin Scorsese. Cape Fear, which is a remake of a 50s movie, I think. I've only seen this one. So yeah, it's got Robert De Niro and all that. It's a really good film. I've only seen it once, but it's good. And lastly, for Blu-ray, and that is Raging Bull. This is probably Robert De Niro's best performance, in my opinion. I reckon this is his best performance out of his whole career. All I can say. It's really good. Really, really good. All right. So now we're getting on to the huge stack of DVDs. So the first one is Heathers. Oh my gosh, Heathers. Who doesn't love Heathers? So yeah, we got Heathers. Good movie. Flashdance with what's her name? Irene Cara. That's the reason I wanted to watch this movie in the first place, because I loved that song What a Feeling, and I loved that scene where she dances, that dancing scene as well. It's really good. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's really, really good. Another big favorite of mine, that is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This is a teen movie, but it's more of an adult and raunchy teenage movie. It's really, really good. I love that. I love that movie. And we've got Class. You've got Andrew McCarthy and Rob Lowe in a movie together, and actually a duo together in this movie. So you're asking for fantastic entertainment right there, especially for someone who has a crush on both these actors. But it was an entertaining movie. I did enjoy it for the most part. It was good. When Harry Met Sally, I guess a lot of people would pick this as the top 5 favorite romantic comedies, and I highly agree with it. I do enjoy this movie. I've only seen it twice, and it's been a while. But you have Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, who had good chemistry. So yeah. And this is an interesting one. So I got On Golden Pond. The reason I wanted to get this in the first place, because I'm a huge old Hollywood fan, and you have Katharine Hepburn and Henry Fonda in this movie. But I'm really glad I got around to watching it when I did, because it's a really good movie. It's one of those more comfort type of films. It's very warm, and I just love it so much. It's a really nice movie. Stand By Me, another classic. You got a bit of a cast right there. River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and also Kiefer Sutherland's in this as well. Yeah, so this is one of my favorites too. Like, so good. And another River Phoenix movie, and that is Running on Empty. This is an underrated gem. I loved this movie. I want to pick it as one of my top favorites, but I do like it a lot. Very underrated, underappreciated, and people need to watch it. It's really, really good. Really, really good. And like a nice little romance movie, and that is Say Anything. Oh yeah, Say Anything. Ugh, had a bit of a mind fart there. Yeah, so John Cusack with the iconic boombox in the air, like reach out the boombox in the hand. It's so good. So good. Oh, here we go. Young Blood with Rob Lowe and Patrick Swayze. This is the movie that made me a Rob Lowe fan. Not gonna lie. I think the reason is because this was the first movie I watched with Rob Lowe, who was in more the lead role. And I might have like gotten attached to him a little bit with this movie. And yeah, this is what made me like him a lot. Because look at that face. Oh my God, look at that face. And he was really good in the movie too. It's probably one of my favorite Rob Lowe movies. Okay, here's another Eddie Murphy movie. That's Coming to America, another classic. This is my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. I've had this DVD for a while, and I have not seen this movie in a very long time. But it's still really good. I do remember it. So, yeah, and I still remember being made in Murphy movies. So, yeah. Mannequin with Andrew McCarthy. I kind of had no choice but to buy this DVD, unfortunately, because I couldn't find it anywhere to watch. I wouldn't say unfortunately, because I do like this movie a lot, but I didn't have a choice but to buy it. So I bought it, and I do quite enjoyed it. I liked it just as much as I liked Class. So yeah, it's still pretty entertaining. Andrew McCarthy is still really, really cute. License to Drive, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, another duo type of movie with both of them. This was a good, entertaining, fun little movie. I love this movie. So good. Like, I wouldn't put it in the top like 80s movies, but it is a really, really fun movie. Really fun, and I did enjoy it. Alright, I think we're getting into the John Hughes movie right now. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Brula. So good. I love it. Magic Roderick. So you've got Thrillers Day Off, Uncle Buck, John Candy, and a very young Macaulay Culkin. What's his name? Macaulay Culkin in his pre-Home Alone role. Yeah, this was a fun movie too. Not as good as Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but it's still really, really good. Weird Science. This is a really weird movie in general. It's an entertaining movie, but it is weird, weird in a way. But it was very fun. I liked that one. 16 Candles, one of my most watched movies as well, with Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall. I forget the actor's name, I'm sorry. But this is really, really good. My mom has watched. If Breakfast Club didn't exist, this might be my favorite, and that is Pretty in Pink. John Hughes didn't actually direct this. He wrote the movie, but it's still technically his movie. So you have Molly Ringwald, Andrew McCarthy again, and John Cryer. So good. This so good. I love Pretty in Pink so much. And another really underappreciated movie, and it's a John Hughes written movie as well, and that is Some Kind of Wonderful. You have Eric Stoltz and Leah Thompson in it. Yeah, it's really, really, really good. You don't hear anyone ever talking about this movie, which is a shame because it's really good. If you want to watch like a good teen type of romance story, this is a good film to watch, and people should see it. Seriously. St. Elmo's Fire, just like The Outsiders, this one has a huge cast. This is all the members from the Brat Pack as well. You have Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Emilio Estevez, John Nielsen, Ali Sheedy, and of course Andrew McCarthy. I can't remember what that girl's name is, I'm sorry. But yeah, this was a good movie. It's been a while since I've last seen this one, but I do remember it being pretty good. So yeah, St. Elmo's Fire. Another film I had to buy because I couldn't find it anywhere, but I did pick it up cheap, and that is All the Right Moves. You can clearly tell I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan because you're going to be seeing a lot of Tom Cruise in this collection. But yeah, this is one of his early movies. I think this came out before or after Risky Business. It's really good. Really, really good. I mean, it was actually really good. I was surprised how good it was. And we got the Karate Kid movies. As you already seen, I've upgraded the first one to 4K, but I kept this DVD because it's still got its sequels. So I've only got the first one on 4K, but kept this for the sequels. So yeah. Alright, so I'm going to get into a few Michael J. Fox movies now, and that is Teen Wolf. A very bizarre, weird movie for sure, but it's entertaining, and it's got Michael J. Fox, so I appreciate it overall. Bright Lights, Big City. You have Michael J. Fox and Kiefer Sutherland. What can you go wrong with that, honestly? What can you do wrong? The Secret of My Success. This is a movie I can't for the life of me remember at all. So you got Michael J. Fox in the film, as you can see. Oh, here we go. We have Aliens. I do have the first Alien movie, but that came out in the 70s, so I'm not going to include that in the video. So I'm just going to include the second one, which is still an amazing movie. James Cameron. Is it James? What is it? Yeah, it was James Cameron. And The Terminator. I'll be back. So good. So good. The second one also came out in the 90s, so this one's only going to get featured in this one. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Yeah, this is a movie I did watch back when I was a kid, and I couldn't get into it as a kid. I got into this when I got a bit older, and I really like it. Really like it. I've seen it about 5 times throughout my life, and it's really good classic Steven Spielberg. I mean, it's a good movie, but it's very, very depressing. A very depressing movie. It's got Meryl Streep, who gives a very phenomenal performance. But the movie is something you don't want to watch all the time. I can tell you that. It's very hard hitting, especially towards the end. Oh. Eddie Murphy again, and that is Beverly Hills Cop. Another good cop movie. Yes. Masquerade. Of course, there's going to be more Rob Lowe. Yes. So this is more of a thriller, kind of like your Alfred Hitchcock-esque type of thriller. It's quite enjoyable. It has Rob Lowe, and yeah, it's quite entertaining. And another Tom Cruise movie, and that is Cocktail. It's been a long time since I've last watched this as well, but it's one of Tom Cruise's movies that I can definitely get behind. It's really good. Beetlejuice. Who doesn't love Beetlejuice? Red Dawn. This movie was just okay. It's got a big cast in it, and that's why I bought it. It's got Patrick Swayze and all those other people in it. It's just an okay movie though. I've never watched it since I've last seen it, so. Mask. This one has Cher, Eric Stoltz, and Sam Elliott. This was a pretty uplifting story as well. Very touching kind of movie. I loved that one. Really good. Analyze This, which is a comedy with Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal. I've only got the first one. I don't own the second one, but the first one was really, really good, and I've had that for quite a while as well. The Princess Bride. This is one I grew up with. And it's the greatest. If they could upgrade this to 4K eventually, I'd be a very, very happy girl. All right, lastly for the movies, and that is the Indiana Jones movies. So we have Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. So that's it with the movies. Okay, last but not least, the TV shows. So I'm going to try and get through these really quickly. So first up, we've got Miami Vice. Oh my gosh, guys, what can I say about Miami Vice? This, honestly, is my everything. This TV show is literally my personality, my life. I love this series so much. You've got the very gorgeous Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas in this movie. I think this is my favorite TV show of all time. I love this series so much. I've been a big fan of this for like over 10 years now. I just love it so much. So I've got season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, and on to The Golden Girls, which is one of my favorites. So series, season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, season 6, and lastly for that, season 7. Good series too, really, really good series. And last but not least, Family Ties, the whole box set of Family Ties that has all 7 seasons. You've got the very incredible Michael J. Fox in this movie, this TV show. I'm actually currently going through this series again. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite like comedy shows, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So that's it for my entire collection, guys. It's a mess over there, so I'm not going to show it. But yeah, that's my collection, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. I knew it was going to be a long video, and I apologize for that. But if you want to stick around and watch me show you the few box sets I have, you can. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you all real soon. So here's my Back to the Future box set. Of course, we've got the first movie, the second movie, and the third movie. This movie did come out in the 90s, but it is a part of this trilogy, and it's in this box set, so I will be including it. So that's my Back to the Future box set. And here's my Dirty Dancing little case right here. It's not really that much, but I'm still going to show you. I might actually show off my entire Back to the Future and Dirty Dancing collection in another video, because I do have a lot of this stuff, because I'm a huge fan. So there's Dirty Dancing Steelbook. This is what it looks like inside. It comes with the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the special features and everything. So good. And my Nightmare on Elm Street box set, of course, or collector's edition. So there's my Steelbook. Looks like the box. And so we got that inside. And here's this little case that holds my all the goodies. Let's just chuck it out. Goodness me. So we got a poster. Oh, it's the original poster that came out in 1984. So you can get the idea of what it looks like. That's just something random. Here's a little booklet of the film. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. And here's a little character cards. You just look at some of the characters like Nancy, Glenn, Johnny Depp, and all the mother and all those other characters. Yep. So yeah, so that's the box sets I'm going to show you. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.